Excuse me, sir. I'd like to take a moment to interview you. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Okay, let's see here. And you must be Thomas Jefferson. Obviously. Can you name some facts that people don't know about you?
Well, let's see, young lady. I speak 4 languages: French, Greek, Italian, and German. Things I like to do: I survey. I love to survey land. Mathematics, horticulture, mechanics, and architecture.
Very fascinating. What did you do in your spare time as a kid?
I enjoyed playing outside, out in the woods of Virginia. I liked reading, and played the cello and the violin.
Ah. Now I see you have a portrait of this person. Can you describe who she is to me?
That's Sally Hemings. She's one of our slaves.
Ah, okay. Did you have any kind of relationship or connection with her?
Do you work for Alexander Hamilton?
I do not. I promise.
Yes. Sally and I had a relationship after my first wife died.
Ah, okay. Now, besides the Declaration, have you been a co-author for anything else?
Yes. A friend of mine, James Madison, and I started this newspaper called the National Gazette.
Nice. What was the purpose of that?
Well, it's a newspaper about the news of the times in politics, specifically from the Democratic Republican point of view. And really it's a counter to those scoundrels, the Federalists, who would have this become a monarchy if we let them. And it's a counter to everything that Hamilton believes in. He's a scoundrel.
That's very interesting. Now, besides being the president, what else have you done for our country?
Well, let's see. Well, I represented the good state of Virginia at the Continental Congress. I helped draft the Declaration of Independence and represented Virginia in that capacity. Worked with other politicians to denounce the Alien and Sedition Acts, which violate the Constitution, especially the First Amendment. You can't take away a man's speech. Although it wasn't clearly established that the Supreme Court would back us on that, it was important that we have the idea that perhaps the court could strike something as constitutional and therefore strike down a law. Although, we're a very young nation. It's the first time things like this have occurred. Part of what I like to do, as you can see, I enjoy writing, and I took the time to attack the Alien and Sedition Acts, partially because I just felt that they weren't part of the moral fabric of what a democracy is.
Let's see here. Oh, I see you were the Virginia state legislator and governor?
Positions that I've been asked to do from time to time. I come from a famous family, and I've been asked to serve, and when asked, I have done so in certain capacities in representing what I think is best for this young nation.
Especially if you were a member of Congress, you were the Minister of France, and I see that you were the first Secretary of State. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Well, it was a dastardly affair. I ended up resigning. I found the politics of the men in that time to be, less than desirable. It felt like we were moving towards proclaiming a president as more of a monarch and really not upholding the Republican values. The things that the French have done so well, they really are the model of democracy, and we would be better off if we simply modeled our country after them.
Have you invented anything else besides the swivel chair?
Swivel chair? Well, little things. Again, I like mechanics, the idea of how things work. And so I've used a pedometer, I've invented something like that, the folding ladder. And we have a mechanical dumbwaiter in Monticello. It's really used to pull the wine up, which I fancy myself having quite a taste for. Things that could be of just use in a domestic capacity.
You mentioned the Monticello. What exactly is that, and what made you want to create that?
Well, I grew up in Virginia, and I love the countryside. Inherited large swaths of land, and with my interest in architecture, I wanted to build something that really just kind of embodied a certain taste that I find in architecture. I wanted it to have a certain grand and bourgeoisie look. I'm a common man, but I like nice things, and I wanted the home to be something that the people of Virginia could be proud of.
I see you believe in public education. Why is that?
Well, perhaps no other sure foundation can be devised for the preservation of our democracy and freedom and happiness than that of an educated public. And we would leave the common man in ignorance if we didn't take the time to educate him so that he can participate properly in a democracy.
What is your opinion on states' rights?
Well, as a Democratic Republican, I have a strong belief in the fact that there should be little central government. The states should make decisions. The government should simply be an opportunity, a place for people to meet, to talk about how they want this country to evolve. But states ultimately should make decisions about the type of country that this should be. And by representing states' rights, we represent local people. And really, isn't that what governing is about? Representing every individual person along the way.
What are your beliefs of the nature of human beings?
Well, that is a complicated question indeed, my dear. I'm not sure that all people are created equal. Should there be an end to slavery, it may be best that those that are freed are allowed to perhaps move to Haiti, perhaps to Africa. I'm not sure that that's in the best interest of the country, that those that had been enslaved would be allowed to live alongside their masters. I don't think the country could survive something like that. So I think it would be in the best interest if we were to just bring the country back to, well, we've had slaves in the United States for a long time, but perhaps the country would be better off if we did not have slavery.
But what are your beliefs on a democracy?
Well, I think in that most of us are the immigrants from Europe, from England. We understand the burden that there is living under a monarchy, one ruler who uses the people to get their own means, a lord's system where you are born determines what you're going to be. And I think it's best that people decide for themselves how a country should run, and that people, for the most part, should be allowed to have an equal voice should they have the ability to be a properly educated voter.
I believe that is all the questions I have. Thank you for your time, Thomas Jefferson.
Thank you very much. Sally, we'll see you out.